Hello. Been a while. Well, we've heard about a wall between Mexico and here, and we've heard about, lately, if you've been listening, you heard about this swarm of Central Americans coming up to do some horrible thing and come into the United States. Okay, well, first of all, there probably is a horde, but it's been steady for I don't know how many years, caused by United Fruit and CIA and as their strong arm and sugar, whatever that sugar corporation is, the big globalist corporations ruining the economy of these countries is the only reason that they don't want to come here. One has nothing to do with it. It's desperation. Okay, now here's where you're being suckered. First of all, the idea that the wall is to keep anyone out. Okay, the wall is to keep people in. The army goes and sets up on the border. It will not be to keep people out. It will be to keep people in. I know a lot of people believe in Trump. Me, I'm impartial. It doesn't much matter because the idea that any one man is going to change, what it would take nothing less than the people to change. That's just silly. Talk about a theory, but and I don't even know if he's for real or not. Honestly, I have my serious doubts. But it don't matter if he is. People are too ignorant to make the changes. To make the sacrifices. There'd be some sacrifices, but they're moving hard. They're moving real hard. These shootings are. Come on. Shootings are coming out of the woodwork. They've got, this is going to be far out for most people, but they've got, they've been studying this since the 30s and 40s, so it has to do with resonance and tones and frequencies that can affect our thought patterns and therefore our behavior. It's just like Jabba the Hutt. It's like your Jedi mind tricks aren't going to work on me, boy. It ain't going to work on everybody, but works on a few, and especially the ones that they catch young and condition. Through who knows what all. You've seen maybe a television show or a movie where someone's being brainwashed and they're strapped in a chair in a room full of screens and with random videos and pictures and images and sounds, loud sounds. Well, I don't know how they do it, but they have their ways, and they've tried them all, no doubt. But these shootings and of course the narrative and the corruption. The corruption and I'm in northeast South Dakota. Okay, Clark County, we have a decent sheriff, although I wish he'd understood his position a little better. Or understood his responsibility a little better and understood his power a little bit better. But he's a good man. Day County, he's got a good man sitting a sheriff. Day County is really wise how they run things. Now to the east, we got Cottington County. Absolutely corrupt. Absolutely corrupt. From the sheriff down to the Watertown, to the county seat and the biggest town in that northeast South Dakota, besides Aberdeen. And the corruption is rampant and people are ignorant. Oh my gosh, the people are ignorant. And the ones that aren't, they just accept it, whatever. No big deal. Because their rights and property haven't been affected as of yet. And I think people are so silly anymore that they don't understand that their elected sheriff has the power with the people behind him to dictate what federal agencies or even state agencies, what they do or don't do to his constituents. in the borders of his geographical jurisdiction. Oh, but anyway, that's crazy talk, right? I mean, as far as this government that is so-called, but it is, simply a for-profit corporation offering governmental services, municipal corporation, if you will. Not strictly speaking, not constitutionally in this republic anyway. But um, we're seeing it, with the Chinese they've started selling gold futures now. Futures, okay, so bonds are right behind. Well, matter of fact, their bond market's up and running, but um, it isn't the government that's the enemy. It's the people that bought off our elected officials and run the government, and they're devil worshippers, bankers, pedophiles, global corporatists. But they can see what the change in the tide, and they when they get up so high, they report directly to the Lord of this world, and and he's any angel, fallen or not, is far beyond their mental capacities. Or I mean, we can't even imagine, but we can't compete. We're not on that level. So they can be pretty crafty, obviously, and we don't know how it's going to play out. All we know is that we have a book, we have a set of rules, we have our relationship with Christ, and we have the Word, we have God's Word. Through Christ we can come to the Father, and that's really all we have. And how we live, gee whiz, it's a miracle. But how we live is just going according to that. I don't think that there's any hope changing anything. Not really. I think things are set in stone. People have been trying to change things for a long time. You listen to, he used to run the John Birch Society. His name was Robert Welch. You listen to his speeches. Oh gosh, who were some other ones? You got Eustace Mullins. Joe McCarthy. No, Joe McCarthy has gotten a bad rap, but Joe McCarthy was right on target. He actually understood, and the honesty and the blatant infiltration by communist subversives in our society, let alone our government, our society. Yeah, Joe McCarthy was a good American. And he should have been taken more seriously. But communism is not the enemy. Collectivism in general is not the enemy. It's just a tool used by the Lord of this world to take power from the individual man. We are the last of the Mohicans here in the United States that have any hope at all. We have no respect globally. We are thought of as arrogant, lazy, stupid by Europeans. I only can suspect Chinese and Russians feel the same way. How couldn't they? I mean, if you look at the outside looking in and how foolish we are and what we let stand in this country, we're sheep and fools, and we deserve no respect. None. I talk about this to people all the time. Most 99% absolutely don't want to hear it. What the hell? Follow God. Forget man's laws. Forget Caesar. Oh, here's this little tidbit. Take from Caesar. The fellow's YouTube channel. His name's on the tip of my tongue, but he is he's on target. Did you know that the IRS has been screwing you if you're drawing a wage somewhere and you pay taxes, income taxes, upon calling all your wages drawn income? Just think about that a second. That's pretending like your time wasn't worth anything to begin with. See what I'm saying? It's a push. It's a perfect push. See, what's your deduction? Well, that's the value of your time. What's your time worth? Well, it must be your wage. Does that make sense? Subsection 83 in the code, IRS code. Take from Caesar. He's I get a little irritated with him how hard he gets on the patriot movement, but I think I understand why he is. I think he is a patriot. He just understands that right and wrong have nothing to do with it. Yeah, I mean the patriot arguments in court are certainly valid and correct. It doesn't matter unless you have a sheriff that's willing to arrest the judge for treason. How many of them we have? In America. Not many, if any. The bar members, the bar guild is the biggest threat to human, at least American, liberty. Absolutely. They are a tool wielded by the Lord of this world. This is doctors' certificates and just as anything that anybody puts on their wall to make them think that they know more than the people that don't have a thing on their wall. It's just a tool. The greatest wisdom I've ever heard has been from uneducated men. And random. I need to get back out to the lemon barn. I just had a little lunch. I need to get a buddy's vehicle back to him, and I need to get some straw bales up, get the tractor started, get some straw bales up for the pigs. Okay, so I better get shaking. Alright, well, thank you very much for your time, and just remember, they ain't building no wall to keep nobody out. Okay, that's better figure on that. They're building a wall. My guess would be, I mean, whatever it is, we know it ain't what they say. So, whatever they're building it for, well, either some unknown something or other, or obviously to keep us in when we start to realize what Gavin Syme has realized, what countless others have realized. They moved to Costa Rica, South America, Peru, that this is bullshit, and most of the world doesn't put up with the bullshit that we do. Most of the world. People can say whatever they want about how free America is. It hasn't got anything on most other countries in the world. I mean, just because the people and societies are old enough where they learned a long time ago what to do when it got unbearable. Let's just get together, storm the fucking castle, cut the heads off the kings. Okay. In America, we think that, well, I don't want to classify myself with most Americans, but if they evidently think that they think they don't have to think, I guess. Alright. Yeah, when she folds up here, which could be any time. I don't know how many times their plunge protection team can come in and bail it out. And like I say, evidently it won't. Eventually, it shan't matter because when nobody else accepts the treasury note as payment, no other countries. What will happen? Well, imports will be extremely expensive. So, what do we have that's imported and sitting around? You look around. How many things say made in the USA on them? So, when you think about that, razor blades, toilet paper, electronics, car parts, extremely expensive and hard to get. When the imports stop, they'll blame it on trade wars, or who knows what they'll blame it on, when it finally gets to the point where they have no other choice but to admit, yeah, we've been fucking you, sorry, we completely lied and disinformation through mass media, and sorry, so we're sorry. No, they'll kick the table over before they do that. What's that mean, kick the table over? If you're playing Monopoly with somebody and they're completely fucked, and they, instead of graciously bowing out, shaking their hand, they just kick the table over. That's what the fuckers are gonna do, because they'll never, ever pony up to us. We're vermin to them. Cattle, Goya. So nuclear war, you know, very likely. Well, a lot will depend, just like in East and West Berlin, on the man watching that particular gate where the where the bottleneck was. If you're not familiar with that story, it's a very interesting story. But all we got to do to stop them is quit participating. Quit paying taxes. Quit paying income taxes. I'm not talking about sales tax and whatnot. Those are lawful taxes, and although they do squander them, you know, we can work on that through our elected representatives if we were to get back to a honest government, you know, where they weren't openly for sale from lobbyists and whatnot. But where was I going with that? I don't know. God bless America. God bless you. Praise God.